Hello, my name is Lori, and today I am covering a bit of Lawrence County history about our school systems. And today I'm actually going to talk, beginning with the state of Ohio. The Land Ordinance of 1785 is provided how the counties would be divided up, being the lands would be surveyed by township and then a range. And then one section of each township would be set aside for public schools. Now, the first general school bill in Ohio was passed in 1821, and it provided procedure to actually establish the schools themselves. The Act of 1821 provided a free tuition for all children whose parents could not provide or pay for the school itself. And that was pretty common because before that, parents usually combined their financial resources and provided the teacher and schools for the kids to go to. And if you couldn't provide, then you often did not attend. This because of this law, the act that was passed, it allowed these students to finally get an education that the other people within their community would get. However, still there was too many families that were too poor to send their kids off to school. A lot of times they were working at home to help with the family. And the original schools had 36 weeks. And then in 1849 to 1850, they expanded the school year to be 44 weeks. Typical school supplies in 1850 would include the slate, pencils, books for spelling, math, reading, a copybook, basically a notebook, what we would call a notebook today, a goose, quill, pen, and ink, and sand to blot the paper. That kept the ink from smearing. And of course, a little bit of chalk for the slate that you could write on. Now, one of the first schools we have was the Gump Stump School, and it was located in Ain't Township in Lawrence County in Section 11. The school consisted of one room with a clapboard siding, and the students often would walk more than a mile, often in a group, to get to the school itself. It had a wood plank floor, a potbelly stove, and 6 large windows. It was not closed by bad weather. In fact, it was closed very rarely due to weather of any sort. Classes start at 9 a.m. and the teacher would ring a bell from the doorway to begin school. The school would begin each day with 1 to 2 songs, and at 10:30 there would be a recess. There were 2 outhouses for the school, one for boys and one for girls. At noon they would eat lunch, and this was usually kept in a bucket, the sandwich with a biscuit or cake or pie. It's a very simple food. Keep in mind, we don't have school lunches at that time. Fruit is what you grew. Oranges were often considered a luxury, and often, I know for some of our older family members, it was a treat you got at the holidays. So what you had was what your family fixed. Sliced bread, unless you were in the city, was not very common. And of course, this is a rural area, so you're not going to have that. Water came from Dalton's house, which is 1/10 of a mile away. And basically, students from the school, older boys, would take a bucket, walk 1/10 of a mile to the Dalton house, and bring the water back. And of course, all the kids shared from the same bucket and usually shared the same type of drinks. There was a recitation bench at the front of the school. The school taught reading and writing, arithmetic, spelling, English, and geography. Now, in the 1920s, that's when we saw the one-room schools being consolidated. And there was quite a few one-room schools in the community. Some of them are still standing today. The Deering one-room school is still standing. It was used as a scout lodge for many years. Before World War II, just to give you an idea, Ohio had 10,000 one-room schools. By 1958-1959 school year, there were only 23, so a dramatic reduction. And you will see, like I said, a lot of consolidation that occurred in Lawrence County. and eventually schools developed as we have today. And I thank you for tuning in. I will probably be discussing schools a little bit more later, and I will see you next time. And if you are looking for more information about Lawrence County Schools or about any Lawrence County history, please call 740-532-1124, which is the main branch, and it houses our Hamner Room, which is a Lawrence County local history and genealogy room. And we have a variety of resources available for you to read from, to research. They are always available, but they cannot be checked out. I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.